Tensions are escalating between Canada and the U.S. as a war of words begins. Very dishonest and weak are just two of the things Donald Trump had to say about Justin Trudeau on Twitter last night after the G7 summit ends in complete disarray. The U.S. president is accusing Trudeau of betraying his administration. After Trump departed the G7 summit early, Trudeau spoke out against the recent tariffs imposed on Canadian steel and aluminum, calling them insulting. That sentiment did not sit well with the president or his advisors as they went on the offense, taking direct aim at the prime minister through American news outlets.
There's a special place in hell for any foreign leader that engages in bad faith diplomacy with President Donald J. Trump and then tries to stab him in the back on the way out the door. And that's what bad faith Justin Trudeau did with that stunt press conference.
Trudeau made an error. He should take it back. He should pull back on his statements and wish President Trump well in the Korean negotiations. So, these other members did. Yeah. Angela Merkel did. Macron did. I was right there. Theresa May did. Okay, so and all of a sudden, he went rogue. POTUS is not going to let a Canadian prime minister push him, POTUS, around.
On his way into bilateral meetings with other leaders today, Trudeau declined to further fuel the controversy. Have another listen to his statement yesterday that apparently prompted the U.S. to react.
Canadians did not take it lightly. That the United States has moved forward with significant tariffs on our steel and aluminum industry. And I highlighted that it was not helping in our renegotiation of NAFTA, and that it would be with regret, but it would be with absolute certainty and firmness that we move forward with retaliatory measures. I have made it very clear to the President that it is not something we relish doing, but it is something that we absolutely will do, because Canadians were polite, we're reasonable, but we also will not be pushed around.
Foreign Affairs Minister Chrystia Freeland seemed baffled by the criticism, saying it's nothing Trudeau hasn't said before. She insists the federal government remains committed to protecting Canadian jobs.
Let me be extremely clear to Canadians, and let me say, as the Prime Minister and I said on the day that the U.S. announced its illegal and unjustified imposition of tariffs against our steel and aluminum industries, the Government of Canada is absolutely committed to standing strong, to defending our workers and our industry, and our retaliatory tariffs will come into effect, perfectly reciprocal, perfectly measured, a dollar-for-dollar response on July 1st, which is Canada Day, perhaps not inappropriate.
Freeland says Canada is working closely with our allies in the EU and Mexico to fight back against Trump's tariffs. During the summit, the G7 countries agreed to signing an official document that would invest in things like cleaning up our oceans and women's education in areas that are in desperate need of support. That agreement is no longer on the table, as the president says, quote, based on Justin's false statements at his news conference and the fact that Canada is charging massive tariffs to our U.S. farmers, workers and companies, I have instructed our U.S. reps not to endorse the communique as we look at tariffs on automobiles flooding the U.S. market. Donald Trump has just arrived in Singapore, where he is expected to begin negotiations with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, a meeting that the president hopes will lead to the end of North Korea's nuclear missile program.